Hello all, tribalkai coming to you again with another video, and going to be talking to you today about how Magic the Gathering is dying again. It's actually more serious this time. I know that every little thing that ever occurs within Magic the Gathering means that the format or the game itself is dying, but yeah, this is actually a more serious one this time. It's actually regarding a report that was put out by the Bank of America recently, and how Hasbro stocks have declined because of that. I am actually in an article here. This is Magic Arena Zone, and let me just go over who the author is so I can give credit where it's due. This is Nicholas Price who has written this, so let's go into the reader view, get rid of all the crap. This review, this article, is a really good review of basically what's happened in a very loose form. It's a very small article. I'm going to go over a couple of articles. They're both linked below if you would like to read them yourselves, but we're going to go through them here. Hasbro destroying quote-unquote Magic by printing too many cards, Bank of America. Hasbro is the parent company of Magic the Gathering publisher Wizards of the Coast, and it's seen its stock plummet 9% today after the Bank of America downgraded its stock's rating twice from buy to underperform. So basically you have ratings within the stock system where it's kind of a loose guide as to what you should be doing with your stocks. So you've got hold, and then on either side of hold you've got doing slightly poorly to doing very poorly, underperforming to sell. And then you've got slightly overperforming and then buy. And they've, as we see here, been dropped a couple of ratings. And it's in no small part due to all of the printings that Wizards of the Coast, or really Hasbro, has been forcing Wizards of the Coast to perform here. Some of us have been saying this for a couple of years now, but the chickens are finally coming home to roost by the looks of it. So moving along here with the article, Hasbro, parent company of Magic the Gathering publisher Wizards of the Coast, has seen its stock plummet 9%. Yes, we've just seen this. Not sure why it's there twice. Leading to long-term destruction of Magic's value in exchange for short-term profit, which, I mean, I agree with that. That's absolutely true, that a capitalist company is always going to push the boundaries of how far it can get away with something without killing itself, and even in some parts it will even kill itself in order to strive for more and more profit. They won't just be comfortable with where they are and just think, oh yeah, this is great, we're making lots of money, the customers are happy with all the product that we're making, excellent, let's just stay where we are. They strive for more and more and more, which they're legally required to do in a publicly traded company, in all fairness. But you get into the realms of the companies having to cut staff and reduce the quality of the product, the quality of the services and stuff like that. So it all gets really dicey, and we're starting to see the repercussions of their actions here. According to the analyst, Hasbro is killing its golden goose, which it will do if it's not careful. I don't think that it'll get that far. I think that they'll somewhat see the error of their ways, stop, and then go and milk into the ground a completely different franchise like Dungeons and Dragons or Transformers or something. I don't think they'll kill Magic the Gathering, but it is at risk of being killed if they carry on like this. Bank of America noted that it has spoken to Magic players as well as local game store owners, collectors and distributors. The prevailing sentiment was that of frustration towards the rapid increase of set releases over the years, along with the reprinting of high-value cards. I would assume that the reprinting of high-value cards thing is in reference to the Magic 30th Anniversary Edition, the reprinting of the Power 9 and all that, sort of. They're obviously proxies that aren't tournament legal, but that whole thing's stupid. The Wizards want both things, or Hasbro, I should say. I dare say it's Hasbro telling Wizards what to do here. They want both. They want to keep their player base happy, keep all the formats healthy and everyone actually playing the game, but they also want to keep the whales happy as well, that are the collectors and the people that are into finance and all that kind of thing. And I think you can do both, but you can't oversaturate the market the way they are doing. if you have Christmas every single day, then no one will enjoy Christmas anymore. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff, really, but yeah, they don't seem to be able to grasp it, unfortunately. This whole thing reeks of old men in boardrooms trying to just push franchises that they don't know anything about or care at all about, and just really trying to drive it into the ground and milk it for all it's worth. But it's interesting that April has just completely summed up the, well, at least my feelings anyway, as a fellow content creator. I help run a Magic Card search engine, and even I have no idea what cards are out anymore. This is exactly the position that I'm in. I release videos every day that actually plays with the cards. I actually play with them. I don't just kind of throw them up on a screen and make really loose deck lists and stuff like that. I actually play with them consistently, and I don't know what's out. And that's bearing in mind that not all the cards are available on Magic Online as well. As you all know, I play Magic Online, and not all the cards are available on there. So that's even less for me to be able to keep track of, but I still can't keep track of all the cards that are available even. It's insane the amount of product that's been ramped out now. It's way too much to keep track of. You really have to pay attention to things like EDH Rec and sources like that. But even then, you're just hoping that other players around the internet are keeping their decks up to date with the most modern cards. That took slightly longer to get through than I thought it would because I was rambling on. So this is a much longer article. Again, link is in the description below. You can go through it yourself properly. I'm just going to whip through it here as quickly as I can for the sake of the length of the video. Hipsters of the Coast. The author is Rich Steen. I'm guessing is how you pronounce that. There's a chef in this country called Rick Stein, so I want to pronounce it like that. But Rich Steen is how I think you pronounce his name. Hopefully getting that right. Should you be worried about the Bank of America stock forecast for Hasbro? This is an article well worth reading because it seems as though this guy's actually done more research than the Bank of America themselves. So going into the read review here, just to get rid of all the crap, the Bank of England conducted what it calls a deep dive on Hasbro's Magic the Gathering trading card game of business. This is worth pointing out because it is a supposed deep dive, and we'll see in this article that they've got some pretty simple, what should be simple things when it comes to investigating a company. You should be getting these things right, like really simple search terms and stuff like that. But we'll get through the article and we'll have a look at what the complaints are here. I think this section is worth pointing out. Where's Arena in the 16-page report? Well, I'm going to start with what I think is the most glaring omission from the 16-page report, and the one that makes me raise the most doubts about the supposed deep dive that the report is claiming to have made. The word magic appears 52 times in the report. The word arena appears 0 times. Given the investment that Wizards of the Coast has made into Arena, as evidenced by the development of Arena-specific formats such as Historic and Explorer, and upcoming products, Shadows over Innistrad Remastered and Dominaria Remastered, plus the inclusion of Arena in the overall organised play plans, it's absolutely shocking to me that anyone could write a comprehensive report on the business of Magic the Gathering, its impact on Hasbro's stock, and not bring up that Arena word once. Point being that if you are going to investigate and affect the stocks of a company, and you are supposedly doing a, quote, deep dive, end quote, then you should report all aspects and you should investigate all aspects of said company. And Arena, like it or loathe it, is a big part of Magic the Gathering now, and for it to not even get a mention in the report is very telling. The next point is that national retailers are apparently reducing the exposure to Magic. So Magic obviously was always held by local gaming shops, hobby shops, board game shops, all that kind of thing. And Wizards a few years ago decided to start distributing to places like Amazon and Walmart and where else does it say here? Target. These aren't British brands, so you'll have to excuse me for not remembering them. They write, our store checks have also found that many national retailers are cutting Magic, and those that continue to carry it are heavy with aged inventory. So that's a hell of a claim, that they are constantly having to hold on to old product that just simply doesn't sell. Doesn't sell likely because the consumers of Magic the Gathering just don't like the product. You know, it's a bad set or whatever. That's the claim that's being made by the Bank of America anyway. So we scroll down here and we see Exhibit 14. We visited, see if I can zoom in a little bit. Exhibit 14, we visited 2 targets in New York City. One did not carry Magic and the other had a high mix of older product. We saw a high mix of older product including Innistrad, Baldur's Gate, New Capenna at a target that still carries Magic. The author of the article on Hipsters of the Coast goes on to say, I might not be reading this correctly, but the claim being made is that the national retailers are either A, not carrying Magic at all, or they are having so much trouble moving Magic product that sets that came out over a year ago are still available, indicative of either overprinting or lack of demand. Yeah, so lack of demand, they release a bad set or something like that. And according to the quote evidence unquote that's given here, if you've got a lot of older sets like this, then consumers just are not liking the product, and therefore Wizards of the Coast and Magic the Gathering are dying. That's how I took it as well. It's not the best investigative journalism that the Bank of America employee could have done. Maybe this just isn't the target audience for consumers of Magic the Gathering. Maybe they are just not buying from Walmarts and Targets. Maybe they'd rather buy from a local game store or online. I don't know, but there's other reasons as to why this stock could be sat here. Conveniently, there are 2 Target stores within walking distance of the Bank of America's corporate headquarters in Midtown Manhattan. One of them is what's called Target Grocery, which is not a full retail Target, and is very common in New York City, where it's difficult to find space for a full-sized Target. Manhattan is also home to multiple local game stores, as are the outer boroughs. So, like we just said, it's maybe just not the target audience. I mean, it's not exactly a good sample size, is it, to go to maybe a Target and a couple of Walmarts at New York City in the state you live in, or even the city you live in, and then just call it a day and that's investigation done. If you've got lots of local gaming stores in New York, which I'm sure you do, then they're going to go there. You can play there, you can meet up with friends there, and it's a better experience in buying the product there as opposed to going to a Walmart and doing it. You know, some Walmarts I'm sure sell a lot of products. I'm sure some Amazon sales come from a lot of specific places where it's easier to just buy from online retailers. But yeah, to just go to a couple of stores and then paint with this broad brushstroke of Magic's dying because the 2 stores I went to won't sell it. It's not exactly the most intelligent plan this guy could have come up with. The author goes into more depth here, and I don't want to just read out the whole thing because you should come and check it out yourself because it's well worth reading. And like I said before, for the longevity of the video, I've rambled on enough here, so we'll just go through a couple of points more, and we'll call this video a day. What about Pokemon? This one pretty much sums up the validity of the Bank of America's report here. This is one of the last arguments the author makes, but it's one that made me cringe the most. The author writes, quote, while Magic has a dedicated and sticky fan base, we're concerned that the continued overproduction of cards and declining secondary market values could push players and collectors into other trading card games, such as Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Flesh and Blood. I don't agree with that personally. I don't play Magic the Gathering because it's a trading card game. I play it because the game's awesome. If Magic the Gathering dies, I'm not going to jump into Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, I don't think I am anyway. If there's a demand for Yu-Gi-Oh! On this channel, maybe I would, but yeah, probably not. This is then followed by a graph depicting, again using Google Trends, the popularity of Magic compared to Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Over the past 18 years. essentially the entirety of Google Trends tracking. Now, this is the fatal and obvious ridiculous error that the author of the Bank of America article made. Exhibit 15, search interest in Pokemon is plus 48% versus 2019 YTD Magic the Gathering plus 14%. So as we can see here, the thick blue line is the interest in Pokemon, and it really spikes there between 2016 2017, and then the yellow line is Yu-Gi-Oh, the thin light blue line is Magic the Gathering. So according to this, the Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering franchises pretty much on par with each other, pretty much a very similar search result history there, whereas Pokemon is trending upwards largely. Now, just to reference the spikes there, I'll save you the trouble of looking up the big spikes. They are when video games released on the world's most popular video, or one of, I should say, the world's most popular video game franchises. Pokemon Pearl in 2007, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl in 2007. In 2011, it was Black and White. In 2014, X and Y. 2016, Pokemon Go, Sun and Moon. Wow, that must have sold really well, because that's the spike in 2016-17. So anyway, the spikes there are representative of video games, not the trading card game, because you'll notice here, Magic the Gathering is just a trading card game. Yu-Gi-Oh is just a trading card game. Pokemon, the search result Pokemon, isn't just referring to the trading card game. It's referring to, I don't know, all the merchandise that Pokemon could ever be searched for. You know what I mean? Like, they could be looking for the anime, they could be looking for the video games, they could be searching for, fan reactions to things. I mean, there's all kinds of other other merchandise that they could be looking for. T-shirts, mum looking for a Pokemon T-shirt for her son, kind of thing. So that is just an amateur, totally fatal error that totally skews this data. It's completely useless and wrong at this point. And this is pointed out by the author in more eloquent terms than me, but he actually goes on to perform a Google Trends search of his own, which is actually worth a damn. So this is from the author of Hipsters of the Coast, Rich. His name was Rich, wasn't it? Pokemon trading card game versus Magic the Gathering, which is a trading card game, and you're likely searching for the trading card game if that's what you're searching for. And you'll notice that in the red, it's now totally reversed. The flat line at the bottom, or pretty much flat line, it trends up a little bit from 2016 onwards, is Pokemon. And Magic the Gathering's search interest has trended upwards in this with this red line here. So it's actually totally the opposite data, totally the opposite result from the data, because the guy from the Bank of America just didn't know what he was doing, basically speaking. So while we all might think that the sky is falling due to Magic the Gathering not being searched as much and not trending in search results as much, it's actually because the guy at the Bank of America didn't key in the correct search results when comparing it to other similar franchises. As far as trading card games go, I imagine Magic the Gathering is pretty much on top. And then Rich goes on to just round up the article here. Obviously, you can go and look at that yourself. I have the link in the description below. Like I said before, is the sky falling? I'm in agreement with the author here that no, it isn't. If Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro continue to churn out product like crazy and print like 300 new commanders every year instead of the 50 new commanders they were printing previously, then it is going and has already driven players away. In my opinion, I actually quite like with the standard sets, I actually quite like that you have less sets in a block now. So typically speaking, 1 to 2 sets in a block is good. because then you can explore new planes more often and stuff like that. And then when you've got something like a Dominaria Brothers War type thing, then you can go 3 sets for that block. But I wouldn't really want to see more than maybe 1 set every quarter for standard sets, and then maybe have a Modern Horizons booster set and a Commander Legends booster set, something like that. Obviously, you've got the precons could come out alongside the Commander Legends set, maybe. I don't like the fact that they're releasing Commander precons with every standard set now. I never liked the Secret Lairs. I think they could be like rare prints that you have a chance of getting in these special booster sets type thing, and in the standard booster sets. The Magic 30th edition thing I think is stupid. I don't like any of the whale stuff, basically. I don't like the stuff that's there simply to milk money from people that want to spend their money on such things. You understand why a business would do that? Because it's easy money. I mean, think of the markup that you make on a few bits of paper, and people have paid $1,000 a pop for them. So you can understand why Wizards of the Coast is doing it. It's sheerly the oversaturation of the product itself. When we went into spoiler season, it used to be special. It used to be once a quarter. We would go into spoiler season, and it'd be exciting, and it would flare up conversation. And now by the time Brothers United comes out, I bet we'll get about a week, maybe 2 at a push, and then they'll start spoiling the what is it called? The Jumpstart set. So we'll maybe get a week or 2 into the actual set that we're playing with, and then Jumpstart will begin to spoil cards, and then the Brothers War won't feel special anymore because now we've got the new shiny thing that's coming out. And then the same thing will happen with that. We'll get into January and a new set will start coming out. New spoilers for it will begin to emerge. So it's just a constant bombardment. And if I didn't do this channel, I probably would have given up with it by now. It's way too much. It's not special anymore. And it's pretty much just this channel that's keeping me going with it. But anyway, I'm intrigued to see what all of you think about it. Are you really into the Secret Lairs and all the special sets and the Transformers stuff and the Warhammer stuff and all that? Is that are these products that you're really enjoying and really looking forward to? Can you keep track of everything? I don't think Magic the Gathering is dying, but I think it will if they keep doing this for long enough, because I think the players will get disenfranchised. Let me know if you agree or not in the comment section below. I'm Tribalkai. Thank you for watching.